Greetings, we are the Galactic Federation, and what we would like you to understand is we are not bringing you a message of mm, what you might think of contact that is going to come because of the fact we need you to understand that much of what you know about your history, what much you know about the stars, and much of what you know about your science has been silenced and strangled by mm, religion. And while you still are under sway in many of your countries of some form of monotheism that is controlling your government and your government is controlling the religion, you will find that you're not getting the full picture, that you may or may not get open contact because open contact, the problem with open contact is it will undo monotheistic religions because other planets do not worship God as you worship God. They do not see themselves created in an image because their planetary suits for their containment of source is different than your planetary suits because of the fact of the constantly demanding our God is the one true God, your suits are developed a certain way. When you let go of this one true God thing, what will happen is that you will change. You will physically change. You will see things change. Your science will change. You will learn of new histories once you let it go. Once you are open to knowing that you are source in a suit. That is all you are. And so it does not matter. You do not need to wait for mm, contact, open contact from other planets, other species to bring you technology, to bring you knowledge. What needs to happen is you need to open up to source. You need to drop the stories that you have been told because they are indeed incorrect. Every single one of your holy scriptures has truth in it because they are all talking about you and what you need to do to move through it. They are all just speaking to you in a way. Every single one of them is a story about you as a human. It is not about one specific historical time. It is about different things that you need to understand to wake up. And you are often reading holy books that are very, very ancient, that spoke to people of different times. So some of the sacraments, some of the things that were being talked about, being told, had to do with people who lived a very different sort of lifestyle than you do. So it really makes no sense that you keep holding and grasping onto this. This is not blasphemy. When you can get the perspective we have, this is not blasphemy. You are source. You are the conscious co-creator. The world, the galaxies, the universes, they are not what you think they are. Nothing that you have been told is correct. It is correct as much as your mind can accept. However, once again you let these things go, things will come to you. Now, we would suggest that you really go through things like your sacred geometry. This allows your mind to open up when you see these geometries. The one thing that we would tell you is that to gaze upon them, to meditate upon them, will open your mind to things that you cannot get by your schooling. Now, we know you need to support yourself and your earth suit. So, yes, it is best to do the best practices as they're referred to, and that is okay. However, you need to free your mind. You have the choice there because once you start freeing your mind, and we know if you are listening to that, you are awfully free. If you are listening to us speaking currently through her, you are definitely free. You are forgetting maybe sometimes, which we would not doubt, because of course you are, because it is such a strong pull. It's when people leave your planet, there is this gravitational pull. Why do you think when you see shows and when you see launchings, why everyone looks like that? Because it's such a pull to bring you back in. That is not just gravity, that is not just different gravitational pulls, it is energy. That is all you are. And since you all believe it is hard to get off of the planet, guess what? It is hard to get off the planet because you believe that you are only a created being that is an enslaved created being that doesn't have any power, and to claim your power, to accept your power, to open up to your power is blasphemy. That you believe that the people that are considered the elites and the ruling class in your society are more powerful, are more knowledgeable than you. They are not. They are knowledgeable in the things that they have been taught, but these things, again, are not real. These things are not how it is. And when and if open contact does happen, as we said, it would shatter all of your religions. Because again, you have this idea that you were created in God's image. So, what are you going to think when you see a being that is completely different than you? Do you have the same God? And wait a second, isn't God omnipotent? And why aren't you being told about mm, different planets? Wouldn't that be knowledge that you would be getting from your holy books? Wouldn't that be something that's important? By the way, you have siblings on different planets. We understand that again, you might go with the theory that, of course, these are ancient people who might not understand. But let's face it, everybody has laid under the stars and looked up and wondered. You have had your ancient people have followed and talked about stars. Let's face it, your person that you refer to as Satan, Lucifer, is the morning star. You have the Star of Bethlehem that the wise men followed to get to Jesus. All those types of things. You have these types of things in stars. So why would they have not talked about your fellow siblings in the stars? Because of the fact these were written by men. Now, was there a source coming through there? Yes, there was. And again, this is why there are pieces, there are nuggets of wisdom. However, you need to decipher them and decode them for yourselves versus people who you might sit there on a Sunday morning where a person has an agenda. If your church has preached anything other than you are God, you are source, if they are preaching anything other than what your Christ has said, then they are not teaching you. Why do you need all these other things? Why do you need all these other things? Ask yourself that. If they are not teaching you, because of the older stories do contain power, do contain practices that can be useful. However, for ancient people, you are beyond that. You are using little tiny computers in to, for instance, record videos that you can upload just like that. You can have a meeting with anybody anywhere on your planet just like that. So, yes, why are you being taught anything other than that you are one with God, with Source? Why are you having to rehash the whole story about crucifying and all these different wiping and genocidal? Why this does not make any sense to us except for you are being controlled. That is what's happening. Because if you know who you are not controllable. And here's the thing, when you are aware of your connection to Source, guess what? You will not commit atrocities. When you are aware that you have a connection to Source and everything and everybody has a connection to Source, you will not commit atrocities. This is what you need to understand. And this is why open contact has not occurred, because if it occurred, if open contact occurred at this current point in your time, what would happen is you would be looking at any off world extraterrestrials as gods. How could you not? Because again, anything that can get to your planet is far more advanced than you are. So, this is why you have not had open contact. This is why there is a waiting pattern going on in your skies. Yes, every once in a while something falls. Yes, every once in a while there is contact made via, you have many, many, many people channeling what you would call aliens or extraterrestrials. And that is okay because of the fact that, by the way, we are Source as well. We are just in suits that allow for more Source, if we want to put it the easiest and most effortless ways. Once you understand that you are Source, once you have really grasped and gazed again at your sacred geometry, which would open your mind to let you understand and help you understand that the science that you know, they're not lying to you at this time, by the way. It is all that is possible to understand from the mindset of that there is only one God. Even if your scientists are atheists, even if your scientists are spiritualists, no matter what your scientists are, and some of them are Christian, even if your scientists are open minded, they still do not have the ability, because again, your suits, until you open up to enough Source, your suits will not let in enough Source to really understand the science behind everything. We could tell you such wonderful, amazing things that are possible. However, you have to, as your Christ said, have the ears to hear, the eyes to see, all that sort of things. However, you do not have it yet because you are not grounded in source completely because, again, just like we were saying about that gravitational pull, you are surrounded by people who are of the belief that they are, again, creation. They have been created by one God and they are just lowly humans. There are just their suits. And that energy is a lot to break through. So, you, my dears, need to be practicing. You need to be doing things, which we have been. Again, we monitor everything because we are not in a physical suit. We pay attention to galactic things, just as different beings that are channeled are paying attention to different aspects. That's why different beings come and talk to you about different things. We are coming to talk to you about this because this is our area of expertise. We could tell you every single different being, every single different planet, and it would blow your mind. However, we need you to focus. We need you to, yes, pay attention to the stars. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. And yes, new things are being discovered all the time. However, you need to be really strong in your sourceness. You need to open your mind and expand your mind. These are things that need to be done because once you do it, then you may be doing channeling. You may be just being around people and they may ask you, what's going on with you? What do you follow? You can help liberate your fellow beings on your planet. You can join forces. And if you cannot find fellows around you, go to your nature, your animals, your trees, especially your old, wise, big, gigantic trees. Your redwoods have much to tell you. If you want to have something that is a god over you, you are looking for aliens to come and land and give you resources and such. Go talk to a redwood. Go put your arms around a redwood. Go find an ancient grove of trees. If you do, you will find that you have been looking for something that's already been here, something that many people take for granted. Your trees are not terrestrial beings. The big ones, the ancient ones, are not terrestrial beings. They were not originally on this planet. You have life in your oceans that are more advanced than you. You have creatures crawling, walking anywhere in your planet, flying, swimming, that are more advanced than you and might even be more advanced than other races coming from other planets that you think, because some of these are. And by the way, because you are one with Source, you are also extraterrestrial. Nobody, nothing around you, anything around you is originally here. The earth is not what you think it is. It is a place for you to learn. It is a place for you to grow. It is a place for you to nurture yourself, your sourceness, and everyone else's sourceness. Please pay attention, turn inward, pay attention to your sacred geometry. No one is coming to rescue you. That is your job. It comes from the inside. That is all the rescuing you need. Again, inside job. That is all. We will talk again soon.